Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Nahmadu wa nasalli ala Rasul Kareem. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, we praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ask him to send peace and blessing his beloved and our beloved Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Continue on the section of Janaza, coming to the end of the section of Salat. Today, this section is about the Salat of Janaza. So we did Kafan last week, about the shroud, and before that the ghusl, the washing of the deceased, and now we're coming to the prayer, the Salat, which is the main dua for the person who has passed away. People do other du'as. Of course, you can make dua, as mentioned in Hadith, that one of the acts that helps a person is a dua of pious children make dua for their parents after they have passed away. But the main dua as a community that we do for a person who's passed away, that before their burial, a dua is made in the form of Salatul Janaza. So the first section is that no one should pray the Janaza except they're in a state of purity, meaning a state of tahara, meaning in a state of wudu. Imam Malik narrated from Nafi, narrated from Abdullah bin Umar, and he said that no man prayed, no man should pray or praise Janaza except that he is tahir. Shah Waliullah Rahimahullah explaining this, upon this, qiyas is done. A majority of the scholars, qiyas means analogy, that tahara and then all the other conditions, because since tahara is a condition, it seems that all the other conditions are there for salat, normal other salats are there for salat al-janaza, even though it doesn't resemble a normal salat, because no ruku, there's no, all other salats have ruku and sajda in it. There's the only one that's called salat, but it doesn't have ruku and sajda. So meaning that they have to be in a state of purity, they cannot have any physical impurity on them, najasa on them, filth on them. They should face the qibla, they should cover the awrah. These are the prerequisites, conditions, shurut of salat. Except that also the only condition Imam Hanifa rahimahullah allows, that other than the wali, because the janaza cannot take place until the family member of the deceased is there present at the janaza. And other than that, if anybody is trying to make it to janaza, because there's no qada of the janaza. Since there is no qada of the janaza, there's no making up for the janaza, then he allows that tayammum can be made. So there might not be a shortage of water. This also applies to Eid as well, because there's no qada according to Hanafi, there's no qada for Eid Salat, and there's no qada for janaza. Hence tayammum can be made because it's very timely. And there's if like you get into the Eid ground, and if you have to go divert somewhere else and Salat's already started, and you're going to go somewhere to a well, pull out water and make wudu, and you're not going to be able to get there on time, then tayammum can be made so you can fulfill that, the Salat Janaza. So the next section is that the Imam is at the front and the people are behind, and he makes 4 takbirs, even if it done at this in front of the body. That's the normal, or in front of the at the grave, or for a ghaib, someone who's absent. Maybe he's physically not located. The body's not in front of you, nor is in the grave in front of you. He's in another country, let's say. Imam Malik narrated from Shihab and narrated from Imam and Sahal ibn Hunayf that he's informed in the miskina became sick. And Rasulullah was informed of her sickness, and Rasulullah used to visit the poor people. So his miskin is a poor lady, and he used to ask about them. Then Rasulullah said, if she dies, when she dies, inform me of that. And she passed away, and the janaza was taken, the funeral procession went, and they disliked to wake up. It happened in the night, middle of the night. They didn't want to wake up Rasulullah. And when the morning came, he was informed about what happened to her, that she passed away. They prayed the janazah and so forth. He goes, didn't I order you, alam amirukum an tu'dhinuni biha? Hamza, just please. Yeah, just real quietly. Did I not? Anyway. So didn't I inform you that didn't I order you that you inform me about her? Ya Rasulullah, we dislike that we take you out in the middle of the night and wake you up. And Rasulullah went out until he made a saf at her grave. He did 4 takbirs, as we do in Janaza. Imam Malik narrated from Ibn Shihab, who narrated Sa'id al-Musayyib radiallahu anhu, who narrated from Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, that Rasulullah announced about the death of Najashi to the people in the day that he died. of course, he's in Habasha, in Abyssinia, Ethiopia, and he passed away there. And then he went out to the ground where the Musalla, referring to the Eid grounds or Janazah, or these things were done outside, and he made a saf there, and he made takbir and made 4 takbirat. Shah Waliullah explaining this says, as for praying the Salatul Janazah in Jama'ah, it's Sunnah in agreement. And the fard is fulfilled even if one person does it. As for the takbirat, this is from the fara'id of the Janazah Salat, meaning the fards within it. As for Salat at the grave, it is correct, according to Imam Shafi Rahimahullah, whether the burial is done before, even if the burial is done before the Salat, or afterwards. And it is said up to 3 days, and some say up to 1 month, and some say whatever will remain of the dead body, meaning that how quickly does it decompose in the grave. And some say forever. Imam Hanifa Rahimahullah said that it is not prayed if someone is not prayed upon, then it can be done at their grave, right? And as long as a person feels that the body has not decomposed, and that is up to 3 days. And this happened in the case here. A friend, his brother passed away. He was a Muslim secretly. Nobody knew. And so the family they treated him like that. And one of our teachers, he went and at his grave just in time, within the 3 days, went there and prayed the Salatul Janazah for him. And it is said also not to pray on the Mayyit. The Janazah is only once on the Mayyit, right? As for the Salat on the Ghaib, who's in another country, it is correct according to the Shafi'is, whether the person is in the direction of Qibla or not. Whether the person direction of Qibla. Remember, the body is put in front of the Imam. But when you're doing Ghaibs, like let's say we're in Australia, somebody is in New Zealand. Just in case, as a scenario, then this Salat al-Ghaib, if it is done, it will be correct. And Imam Hanifa Rahimahullah said it's not permissible. That Salat al-Ghaib, there is no concept of Salat al-Ghaib like for anybody. He said the Salat that Rasulullah ﷺ did for Najashi, the Salat that was done at the grave, that it was as though that it was not prayed upon, and the Salat for Najashi is only specific to Rasulullah ﷺ. It's khas bi Rasulullah. There are many ahkam where there's ikhtilaf. Is this specific to the person? Or is this specific to Rasulullah ﷺ, or is applicable to everybody? So there's debate. This Fuqaha have debates on this and discussions on it. So and this is one of the cases where there's disagreement. So
Hanafis don't pray
Ghaib, yeah, unless Janazah is not prayed. And they said this was Salat al-Ghaib in Najashi because he was in a non-Muslim country. Probably no one prayed on him. So or this was specific to Najashi or specific to Rasulullah ﷺ that he wanted to pray for him. Obviously for the ihsan that he had on the ummah. And there is a discussion about it. Who can you pray for? Like I've only prayed Najash 3 times in this masjid, because if you start this, people are praying in Pakistan and then they ask it to do here as well. Like there's already Janazah there. That's done. It's fulfilled. If we start doing this, because there's hundreds of people now in this mosque, and so every salat will become sort of silly. Like if you're doing Salatul Janazah all the time of the ghaib, right? So generally, personally as a rule, there's a big discussion behind this. If someone's janazah is not prayed, then we do it, right, in this masjid. So there was some Muslims from a country where their janazah was deprived, because the state is so restrictive that they couldn't get a janazah done. Then their family was here, they requested, and their family was deprived of janazah in their country. And that was one. The other one was Dr. Mursi Rahimahullah and also Ismail Hani Rahimahullah. Like we did, like there's people of greatness who have the ihsan, with a ruler, with an alim, there's ihsan on the ummah that we need to acknowledge and make dua for them. But anyway, those are far few in between. But if you just open the door, flood, like just everybody be doing it all the time, it would sort of not make sense. So there are people getting janazas in Muslim countries, so we don't need to do it here. That's fulfilled. Imam Malik narrated from Sa'id ibn Abi Sa'id al-Maqburi, who narrated from his father, that he asked Abu Hurairah radhiyallahu anhu how was janazah, and he said that I will inform you, like in detail basically, that you go with it, follow it to the janazah, because that is the haqq of the mayyit. One of the haqq of a Muslim is that you follow his janazah when he dies, and when he is placed, then fourth a takbir is made, praise of Allah is done, salawat al Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam is done, and this is one of the du'as that is mentioned. He's narrating, Allahumma Allah, abduk wa ibn abdik, slave, son of your slave, and a slave, son of your female slave. He bore kana yashhadu la ilaha illa ant, that he bore witness in his life that there was no one worthy of worship except for you, and that Muhammad is his slave and messenger, and you are more knowledgeable of him. If he was good, increase in his goodness. If he was bad, then overlook his faults, like forgive him, and do not deprive of any reward, and do not put us in test after him, put us in fitna and trial difficulties after him. Shah Waliullah explained this. After the first takbir, thana is done. Subhanaka Allahumma bihamdika tabarak ismuka wa ta'ala wa jalla thanauka la ilaha ghayruk, as mentioned in the books, according to Imam Hanifa rahimahullah, and according to Imam Shafi rahimahullah, Fatiha is read. And after second takbir, salawat on the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is done in agreement. Everybody agrees after the second takbir, durud, salat on the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is done, salat Ibrahimiyya, as we do in salat. And after the third one, dua is made with agreement. Everybody agrees that is the point of dua. And after the fourth, the Hanafi said there is no dua, you do salam. The Shafi say you can do dua there as well. If it is a lady, of course the words changed for the lady. Your female slave, the daughter of your male slave and female slave, and everything is made according to the woman, this dua specifically. Also, is Fatiha read in Salat al-Janazah? Imam Malik narrated from Nafi that Abdullah ibn Umar, he said he did not recite in the Salat al-Janazah. Recite meaning read the Quran, meaning referring to Fatiha. Any part of Quran was not read. Shah Waliullah said the hadith of Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim is there, that is from the Sunnah to read Fatiha in the Salat Janazah. Imam Shafi rahimahullah has taken this view that to read Qira'ah, Fatiha is fard after the first takbir. And the Hanafis say that it is not permissible to recite the Quran in the Salat Janazah. So in Fatawa al-Amgiriyah is mentioned, if someone was to read Fatiha with the niyat of dua, then there's nothing wrong. But if he reads it with the niyat of Qira'ah, then it's not. So it can be read with the intention, the Hanafis have to accept this, that it can be read with the intention of dua. To make salam after takbirat in Salat al-Janazah, Imam Malik narrated from Nafi, who narrated from Abdullah bin Umar, that he used to pray on the funeral procession, on the janazah, did the Salat al-Janazah. He used to pray on the deceased. He used to do it until the people could hear it from the back. So that he did salam in such a way that they could hear it from the back. Abdullah bin Umar, that when he did janazah. And upon this are the people of the knowledge. Because the takbirat can be heard, salam is also said. So takbir, takbir, takbir. Like if you're looking from the outside, you hear takbir, 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 and salam. That's the audible side from the imam. And then in between what is mentioned, thana / Fatiha. The Hanafi said thana. Fatiha can also be read according to Hanafis, and the Shafi say you read Fatiha. And then it's after second takbir to do Salat Ibrahimiyya, as we do in Salat, and after third takbir to make a dua. And there's many duas, and I usually just remind for people that somebody's passed away, Allahumma ighfir lahu warhamhu, on the spot. But and especially those who go for Umrah, because so many janazas, I think everybody's brought from the city there. Nearly every salat there's a janazah. Then that's a time to also revise. Good. I know it's a sad thing, but it's a good time to revise all your du'as. And they announce it's a woman or a man, or it's a group of mayyit, or it's children, a boy or a girl, baby. So they do announce it in the janazah generally. Now I'm keeping an eye on top of it. I'm not missing anything. Last week I missed a bit. So anyway. Someone who comes late to the janazah, what do they do? Imam Malik narrated that he asked Ibn Shihab about a man that he comes and he missed some. He got takbir, but he missed some of the janazah. So he said he makes up for what he's missed, right? Shah Waliullah said in Minhaj, if the imam does salam and someone catches him, what he does is the remaining takbir with his askar, and and he makes it the one that the latecomer, he makes a takbir and he reads Fatiha. If the Imam is another one, like he comes in, he catches in the second takbir. So now while the Imam is in the Shafiq, he's reading Fatiha, he catches in Darul. Then he has to do the first one, isn't it? He's missed the first one. So in Fatawa al-Mugiri is mentioned, if a man comes and the Imam does takbir, ula, he waits until the Imam makes a second takbir. He missed the first takbir. He waits till the Imam makes a second takbir, then joins the Imam, so he's joining the Imam in the second takbir. And when the Imam finishes, this person does the other takbir, which he missed, and before the janazah is lifted.
So finishes when he says salam alaikum.
Yeah, he just finishes it before the salam that he finished. As far as my understanding, they finish it before the janazah is lifted. This is I say what the word of Shah Waliullah is saying, that he makes up this what he missed afterwards. Wallahu alam. He does not pray the janazah. He does not pray the janazah. The janazah is not prayed. Sorry, the janazah is not prayed at the rising of the sun, at its setting of the sun, and that is praying it after Fajr and Asr, if they're prayed at their times. Imam Malik narrated Muhammad ibn Abi Haramala, the freed slave of Rahman ibn Abi Sufyan bin Huwaytib, that Zaynab bint Abi Salama, she passed away. Tariq, he was the Amir, the governor of Madinah Munawwarra. The janazah was brought after Salatul Fajr, and it was placed at Baqi. And Tariq, the governor, he used to pray Fajr very early, like right at the beginning time. His Fajr was. So Ibn Abi Haramala said, I heard Abdullah bin Umar radiallahu anhu saying to her people, the family of the deceased, either you pray your janazah now, or you leave her until the sun rises. Right? Either you pray now, or you wait until the sun rises. Malik's narrated from Nafi, narrated from Abdullah bin Umar, that he said to pray on the janazah after Asr and after Fajr, if they pray the two salat, Fajr and Asr, at its time, at its early time. That it can be done then if the salats were prayed at its time. Shah Waliullah said in Al-Mugiri, 3 times it is not permissible to pray the salat janazah. When the sun is rising until it comes up, at the midday until it declines, and at the time of the reddening of the sun until it sets, like right at the end of sunset. This is when it becomes wajib, in the time that it is permissible, and the person delayed at these times. As for if it becomes wajib in the time, then it can be done. So, like, you unnecessarily delayed it. You could have done it before Asr, as an example, and you delayed it unnecessarily the Salat afterwards. Then you have to wait till Maghrib. You should wait till after Maghrib. You could have prayed it in its proper time before Asr. There was no reason not to do it before Asr, before it came its time. Now the janazah got ready. Let's say janazah got ready after Asr, and that's the time, and it's bright outside and light, and you want to take it to Qabristan to bury, because in the old days, especially, at night time, then you have to take torches and whatnot. So it becomes difficult, right? That you can do it in that time if it didn't become wajib in the permissible time. He said that Shah Waliullah said, I say that the janazah of Zainab was presented before the time of makruh, and according to Imam Shafi Rahimahullah, it is makruh to pray salat in these times, except for, so Imam Shafi has this principle, if the salats in these times are disliked, except the salat that has a sabab, a reason. For example, if you missed a fard salat to make up for it, in these times can be prayed in these 3 times, or a nafal, or for example, tahiyatul masjid can be prayed because something external caused. Can salat be prayed, salatul janazah be prayed in the masjid? Malik narrated from Abi Nadar, the freed slave of Umar bin Ubaydullah, that Aisha, the wife of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that she ordered that when the Sa'ad bin Abi Waqqas radiallahu anhu's janazah passes by, when he passed away, that she wanted to make dua, because that's the front of the masjid, right? So her house is the house where Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, she lives there, right? So this is afterwards, and said that people objected to this. Like, she wanted the body to be brought there at the front so she can make dua as well, be part of it as well. She said how quickly people forget that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam prayed for Suhail bin Bayda, except he didn't pray for him except in the masjid. This janazah was prayed by Rasulullah for this person in the masjid. Malik narrated from Nafi, from Abdullah bin Umar, that the Umar bin Khattab radiallahu anhu janazah was done in the masjid. I say Shah Waliullah said, upon this is Imam Shafi rahimahullah. Imam Hanifa rahimahullah said janazah should not be prayed in the masjid. Right? So you notice some places what they do is the janazah, one of the aspects of it is that is a dead body. And sometimes dead body is not, it's bleeding, or there's something that maybe fall off it, that and can dirty the masjid. Right? So some masjid, they do pray in the masjid, but they have a special place at the front. So the safs are made in the masjid for the janazah, but the body is outside the masjid, like in another part. So that's one aspect of it. So that the masjid clean. But in these days, like the way we pray in the masjid, because usually it's after Salat and the safs already made, like for example Jummah, and everything's set up already. And there's no possibility from the body that, because it's enclosed off totally, that is a very low chance of it dirtying the masjid. The last section, if there's bodies gathered together of men and women jointly, then the body of the men are put closer to the men, to the Imam, and the women behind that. So Imam Malik narrated that reached Uthman bin Affan radiallahu anhu and Abdullah bin Umar radiallahu anhu and Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu when they prayed the janazah in Medina, the funeral salatul janazah in Madinah Munawwarra, the men, for men and women, like a joint, maybe multiple people died, and they would make the men closer to the Imam, and then the women in the direction of Qibla, meaning in front of the men. And Shah Waliullah says, and upon this are the people of knowledge. Inshallah, next week we'll go through the details about, or the hadith in Muwatta regarding about the grave. So we've done ghusl, we've done the kafan and the salatul janazah. Then next is the burial, ahkam related to the grave and burial. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us understanding and tawfiq to practice what we're saying here, inshallah, when it happens. Not that we're asking Allah to send